best example I can give you are the Greys. Apparently the Greys were much more human-looking at one time. What happened was they, as a race, were captured approximately 893,000 years ago, leaving Zeta 1, Zeta 2 to go off on their own and do their own thing. This is very common amongst other races, that they do this. This is how Earth got colonized by many different races. They were just out there exploring. Well, what happened was they got captured by a group in Orion that was already under the control and genetic manipulations of the Alpha Draconans. The Orions captured the Greys. According to Mornay, the first thing they did was they slaughtered almost all of the women. Now, the reason they do that is to control the birth process. And what they did was they started to genetically alter the women, the females of that race, so that all the children born after that were genetically altered. Does everybody understand that? They were different in some way than they were before. The men were enslaved, and they were made to work mines. They were made to do all kinds of different things. They were slaughtered, absolutely no regard for life. They were a natural resource. The Greys themselves became a natural resource. Now, the Greys, I'm told, would absolutely love to be free of this hierarchy. But what they've done is they've continued to propagate the problem. Now, we've been told that they've been here for thousands of years. According to the Andromedans, that's a lie. They got here in 1931. But because of their ability to time travel, it looks like they've been here thousands of years, because they can go backwards in time. And by going backwards in time, you can literally alter the consciousness of any race. You can alter any event. And that's exactly what they've done. Now, they're not the only ones who have done this. There's a group from Sirius B that have also been tinkering with this. Now, it took me a long time to really understand why it is they wanted to do this. And the bottom line is, it was to control us. We have things that they want. Okay, we have the benefit of apparently being on 11th density. That means that we've covered a very large area of growth, of spiritual growth, of evolvement, which is why our extreme of emotions is so big. They want that information. Not only that, but now, with the new frequency that's coming in, and third density beginning to implode on itself, the Greys are in fact trying to save their race. According to Mornay, there are really only 2,000 real Greys left. Everything else are clones. They're robots. That's all. They're organic robots. They do not carry a life force, in essence, a spiritualness about them. They're robots. And folks, we're talking about technology thousands of years ahead of where we are now. Thousands of years. Now, the reason the Greys are doing so many abductions is one, for genetics. Okay, they're trying to bring their two races together. Okay, this information is correct. The other reason is that during an abduction, sick person, okay, we all know what the energy field is, the aura. Does everybody know what the aura is? It's around everything that is alive. What they're doing is, once they've created a hybrid, the problem they're having is they can't keep it alive. And the reason they can't keep it alive is because spirit will not attach to it. The life force will not attach to it. So what they're doing is they're abducting the mothers, and according to the Andromedans, most of the hybrids are females, by the way. There are very few males. They're mostly female, because that's how you propagate the race. And in our ancient history, you know, the royal line of a family was charted through the mother, not the father, because you always know who the mother is. You don't always know who the father is. But what they're doing is they're peeling the vital body of the mothers, the children, which are mostly females. They're containing it. They have the ability to contain this life force. And then what they're doing is they're feeding it to the hybrids. They're feeding the vital life force of the children and the mothers to the hybrid of the same lineage. Okay, they take an egg from the mother, they create a hybrid. They come back and they take the vital bodies of the mother and the female children, and they continue to feed it because they're trying to create soul. Does everybody follow that? They're trying to create a soul, and they just can't do it. So they're desperate, which is why there's just so many weird things happening. I mean, that's just one of the things. You know, there's no black and white to this. This is a huge, complex, gray conspiracy within a conspiracy within a conspiracy. It's just bizarre stuff. And why we agreed to do this, I have no clue. So what's happening is this is not working. So the races are dying. Now, what the Greys have actually done, because they're having problems here, is they have been abducting children, and many of the children are, like, not here anymore. This is why children are disappearing all over the world. They are vanishing without a trace. Some of them are being taken by the Greys. Westchester County, New York, the last 3 years, 5,000 children have vanished without a trace. Without a trace. The government knows what's going on, but they're harmless. They can't do anything. They're helpless to do anything about it. And the reason they don't want to bring it up is because they let the bastards in here in the first place. They cut a deal. They cut a deal. They sold us out. And I got a lot of energy on it. Because I have friends who want to know where their kids are. Now, this is just one scenario. Apparently we've been manipulated for 5,724 years now. We have been manipulated beyond belief. We've been manipulated.